Hi, I'm Cheryl, and we'll be doing the third of my cards. I'm using the purple lilacs, and isn't this gorgeous? I didn't glitter anything, but you certainly could glitter it. I may do that later on. I don't know. And then we have the inside done also. So this is what you're going to need for this card. You're going to need a piece of always Artichoke cardstock, and this is cut at 5.5 by 11, scored at 5.5. That's our card base. A piece of very vanilla cardstock, and this is 4.5 by 4.5. That's for the inside of the card. And you'll need a little piece that's let's see, it's 5.5 by 1 inch. Let me measure that just to make sure. Yeah, you'll need a piece that's 5.5 by 1 inch, and then I've pre-cut this lace strip, and I used this die right here from the Sweetheart Borders die from Heartfelt Creations. It's a lovely lace die, lovely, lovely. And then I also used from Stampin Up. I used from Sunshine Sayings. I used the Happy Birthday right here, that stamp. And then from the Sweet Sentiment stamp, which is it's a retired stamp set, so if you have it, that's great. Use it, but if not, then perhaps you have a sentiment that in your stamp stash that you could use. But I'm using the Hoping Your Day is Perfect. And I have those already pre-mounted on a block here. And then we used from the Lush Lilacs collection, we used this this stamp right here, which is, let me show you on the back here. This stamp and die, I got the dies for these also to cut and make these the lilac flowers. We did that in another video. And I have all the bits here that we're using. And then from the Sweet Lilac Scroll and Notes, we're using this lilac spray. And from the Lush Lilac and Umbrella spray, we're using the umbrella. So, but watch my video on making all the elements for the card. I'll put the link for that down below. So I have in my little plastic box, because my cats think that these shaped things are cat toys. So I have those already cut and colored and ready to go. And I have the dimensionals on the back. So you will need Stampin Dimensionals for this card. I'm going to use the Art Glitter Dries Clear Adhesive. I've decanted that into a small bottle with a fine tip on it. That's what I'll be using because I like it. I like the Tombow a lot of times, but I want something that's not going to make my fingers sticky. We're using a quarter rounder, Pear Pizzaz ink, and Wisteria Wonder ink. And the, let's see, this is the Everyday Label Punch from Stampin Up. Then we're also using the Lush Lilac paper collection papers. And we're using this. We'll be using this piece here. And from this sheet of designer paper, this was a strip down along the edge here of all sentiments. We're using that also. I think I'm going to use this one on this card. I used this one on my demo card, or my sample card, but I think I'll use this one on this card. So let's cut this out. I'm going to get my Stampin' Trimmer, which is a wonderful thing to have, and cut this out. So let me put this in here. I'm Gonna line this up. And let's see if I can do this without getting my head right on top of it. Alright, slide up my scoring blade, and on here there's a little pointer, so line that up with the bottom edge here, and you just draw that up. And I like to draw it towards the fence here because that keeps my paper seated against there and it keeps it straight. Then we'll turn this. We'll do the same thing. We'll line this up here. And using my pointer, I'll cut. And I just love these designer papers that they come out with from Heartfelt Creations. They're so pretty that you could just slap one of these on the front of a card, add a sentiment, and you're done. But me being the way I am, I can never leave things as they are, so. Okay, and there we go. We've got our piece here for the card front. So, let's glue that on first off. Let me bring my card back in here. And we're just going to glue that on just like this, with the umbrella down here in the left corner. And get some glue on the back there. And just line that up. There will be just a little edge of that always artichoke card base showing all around the edges. So if you were a little off on your cutting, then you should still be fine. Then next I'll attach my lace and just give it a good, let me get that out of there. There we go. A nice line of glue down there, and you can put some dots of glue in there. Any place you can find a little spot to put it. And we'll add that to the front, right along the bottom edge. And let's see, where'd my strip go here? Let me show you how I made that nice decorative edge on that. So using my everyday labels punch, this is so easy. I just slid this in and it's just the perfect size. So I want to get that centered and equal top and bottom on there. There we go. Oh, it's not quite. Okay. That looked pretty good. And there we go. So now we have our sentiment with a little decorative edge here. I'm going to use my Wisteria Wonder and just sponge a little along the edges here just to dress that up. You know, I'm going to trim off along the top here too. I want that just a little smaller, I think. There we go. Alright, now I'll continue with my sponging. Okay, so that's going to go right here. We'll attach that with oh, you know, while we have this out, let's stamp our sentiment on here too. Okay. So I've got these already lined up on my block. Just ink those up real well. And you have that a little bit towards the top. And centered side to side. And just 1, 2, 3. Ink has transferred. And there we go. There's a hoping your day is perfect. And we use the corner rounder around all 4 of the corners. And with our Pear Pizzaz ink, we'll sponge all around the edge there. Why do I sponge everything? You're probably wondering that. So this woman, she sponges everything. Just because without this, the edges just look so stark. And to me, it kind of screams homemade as opposed to handcrafted. So I always like to go for a handcrafted rather than homemade look. Okay, so that's ready for our inside. Let's put that in. Get our glue. And just center that on the inside. And yes, I stamped a flower on the inside of the other one. And see, I decided I didn't care for it as much as I thought I would. So now we're ready to start adding all of our little elements. So these already have the dimensionals attached to them. So all I have to do is peel off the backing and put them down on the card. I got clever about that. Now you just have to watch me peel the back off instead of watch me stick all of these on. And I'm going to cover this umbrella right here. But I want my little butterfly, there's a little pink butterfly there. I want that one and this one to show. So I'm going to just position it like that. And we'll add this one to the top. And just have that kind of draping over the top here with the thicker part of this element to this side. And you could probably stop here if you want it. Just add the sentiment, but I've got to have my little shaped flowers on here, so just add a bit of the glue to the back and just start filling in. You might want to keep some kind of pokey tool handy just in case you need it to help you with positioning your flowers, getting them just in the right spot. But I'm going to live dangerously and not get mine out unless I have to. So just fill that all in with these nice little flowers. This glue dries fairly fast if you're really impatient. Oh, get in there, little flower. if you're really impatient, you could even use a glue gun instead, but this is a nice glue. I like this glue. I like Tombow. There's another one, a Scotch tacky glue I've tried that works nice for cards. You need to have the right glues. Some glues are just too wet, and they'll crinkle your designer papers or sometimes even your cardstock. Okay, I think that's good on the umbrella. Oh, maybe one more right in here. I'm gonna just kind of fold that one up and just stick him in here. There we go. We have lots of these little flowers, so we can fill it in real nice. And you just pick a spot on your little elements and just start filling in. So I've got some more cards coming using these little lilacs. I like these flowers. I'll be using them more as a filler. I'm going to use these with dogwoods. I have actually 2 cards done. I just need to find myself a chunk of time for the videoing process, and there's a lot of things that y'all don't see. I never realized. I'm a avid YouTuber. Until I started doing my own videos, I never realized how much time people put in off screen in these videos. So like I said, I need to find a chunk of time to get them done. One of them is going to be, I think it's going to be a 3-parter, because it's an easel window box card, and I made it as an Easter card. But I think when I do it for my video, when I actually demo it, I think we'll make it a Mother's Day card, because Easter came so early this year. It's just not fair. It snuck up on me, and I really didn't have any cards prepared for Easter. Of course, any of these you could do with an Easter sentiment and give those for Easter. Okay, so now I've got my little sentiment we punched out, and decorate it with some shading on the edges, and we'll just put a couple of Stampin Dimensionals on the back of that. And put that right here. And our card is done. Unless you want to glitter it, you're ready to give the card. So if you've liked my video, it always makes me happy to see people hit that like button down below. If you have any questions or comments, then please do leave them, and I'll get back to you. I'm pretty good about that, about getting back to people. And if you want to do any shopping for Stampin' Up supplies, you can do that with me through either my Facebook page or my blog. And do check out the blog every now and then, because I've decided I'll be posting cards that are just too easy to actually make a video. So if you're looking for quick and simple cards, I'll be putting some of those up with directions written directions rather than a video. So, anyways, you all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.